Hey folks, how's it going? We're going to talk a little bit today about Section D of the Assessment in the Major or Program Self-Study. We're going to kick it right off with the program factbook information. Now the good news is most of the information that you're going to need for this category or section is contained within the program factbook. The bad news is the program factbook's not housed where it used to be housed. I'm clicking on this link. It's not really active right now. The program factbook now, the easiest way to gain access to it is to go to your program academic planning grid, and down on the lower left-hand corner, you'll see the link to your program factbook. You can click on that, and it'll open up your program factbook. Once you get it opened up, you'll see that all of this information, or most of it, is contained therein. Now, you're going to want to save your program factbook as a PDF to your desktop. Check this area out, and you're going to want to make sure that you include the program factbook as an attachment. Upload from your computer, drag and drop, upload and close. You'll be all set to go. Save and return, and the attachment will appear. I'm not doing it here because I don't have a sample, and I'm trying not to show the program factbook in a publicly accessible video because it contains potentially private information for various constituents, right? So once you have that, then you at least want to include a narrative component very briefly. You can do that through text and image, just explaining what the program factbook is and what kinds of information it contains. Conveniently, all of that is right here. So you can just copy this over, go to text and image, paste it in as a starting point, and we'll keep the formatting for now. And then you can tailor this to your personal needs, save and return, and then you're all set to go. We're going to discard that for now. When it comes to Section D2, recruitment strategies, we're being asked to describe open house presentations, visits to high schools, visits to community colleges, relationships cultivated with prospective students, and communications with prospective students. The first thing you want to do is go through your email and find the most recent semester or academic year's admitted student day and open house schedules. Include that in your narrative area, right? Check this out. You can copy and paste this in as a starting point into the text and image area, and then you can list the open house and admitted student days. After that, if you're not familiar with visits to high schools or visits to community colleges or articulation agreements with either of those, you may want to reach out to the Workforce Development Office on the 6th floor of our high-rise building. If you need specific contact information, you can reach out to me. I'll be happy to put you in touch with the folks that are responsible for that area. And they will let you know about the articulation agreements that we have with various high schools and community colleges, specifically in the realm of dual enrollments. And they may also have a bit about the history of liaison work with folks within your school or your department, and what kinds of relationships have been established and what kind of visits have been established over time. Now, when it comes to relationships cultivated with prospective students and communications with prospective students, that really comes down to you and your faculty and what you folks have done. Perhaps you're writing welcome letters to students, maybe you're participating in admissions call nights, or perhaps you're doing none of those things, and that's okay too. You just want to talk about what you are doing. That's the most important thing. Excuse me. When it comes to student needs, the best place to go to start is the program factbook, right? And you'll have an area down near the bottom that describes demographic information, and it's only provided for enrollment greater than 4. And it will list, it says list number and percent of students in the program who are in special populations. And you'll see students who are economically disadvantaged, first generation students, single parents, students with limited English proficiency. And this gives a sense of what our student needs are to a degree. It gives us a sense of the financial needs. It gives us a sense of special needs of groups of students, right? and the percentage therein. And then, of course, we can talk a little bit about how we meet those needs. But the most important thing for this area is just addressing the needs themselves. And the narrative component is already contained in your fact book, and you can copy and paste that over, and you can refer the external reviewers to the specific page in the fact book where the information is included as well, which will come in very handy for them. When it comes to advisement policies, this is an easy one. It just says this general information can be copied from below and pasted into this section. So, Control C, check it out, text and image. We're going to paste this in as a starting point. We're going to keep the formatting for now, and we're going to save and return, and then that information will be contained therein. Of course, some things have changed a little bit since we initially completed this area, and we may want to talk a little bit about the advising office on campus. So, you'll see the advising center here, and you'll see a host of information available. You'll see meet the staff, scheduling an appointment. You may want to include this link in the link section and then refer to it in the narrative so that folks know that we have an advising center and there are a multitude of options when it comes to helping serve students. When it comes to orientation activities, we also have a general kind of blurb here as well that you can simply copy and paste into the text area as a starting point, just as we've done in the past. We can save and return. I'll cancel in this case. And you're all set as a starting point. But of course, we want to double check and make sure that there haven't been any great strides in student orientation, or that maybe there's some additional information on the website that we can link to, and there certainly is. So we can copy that up. We can go to the links section, new student orientation, boom, save and return, and now you've got that link contained therein as well. I highly recommend that you continue to look too. Check out the orientation details. See what you can find. Look at the schedule. See what kinds of opportunities they have available to students. There's also a virtual orientation option, right? And it might be worth including that link in TaskStream as well and mentioning that we have virtual orientation options. Save and return. I'll cancel because I'm just doing this as an example. And we can go back to the text and image, and you can add a little bit in addition to what was already there about virtual orientation and the normal orientation pages. Finally, we have attrition passions. That's wonderful. Attrition patterns. You can copy and paste this short blurb into the text section, but you're also going to want to talk a little bit about the specific attrition patterns in your program fact book. Now, the program fact book, as far as I can see right now, doesn't actually contain any terminology for attrition. So what you're going to want to look at is you're going to want to look at retention rates. You're going to want to look at the number of students that have left for transfer and the number of students who have simply left or dropped out, right? And those are kind of give you a sense of the attrition rates and the attrition patterns. If you have a program that has a graduation rate, let's say, of 40%, and you find that the other students, the other 60% of the students, are all transferring to go to a single program in Oneida or Cortland or something like that, that's very telling. If you find that half of your students that don't graduate are transferring into other programs in-house within the campus itself of SUNY Canton, that's also very telling. If you find that nobody is transferring and the students are actually just dropping out, and they seem to be dropping out in the first year or the second year or the third year specifically, that is also very telling. What kind of information can you extract from that data when you're looking at the program fact book? That's kind of what we're looking for here. Now, it's not always easy to draw meaning from data, and your interpretation, of course, is potentially subjective. That's okay. Because your deans will be looking at this before you submit it to your external evaluators, and I'll be taking a look at it before it gets submitted to your external evaluators, so you don't have to worry too much. But what we're really looking for in this area is kind of looking at the patterns and a bit of an analysis on those patterns. If you have questions about that, you can always reach out to me. As always, these videos are kind of designed to get you started on the right track, but not necessarily designed to get through the difficult analyses and deep dive portions of the assessment in the major where that's necessary.